So we're out here at Trail Tours again in Pontypool. Such a beautiful morning, wind blowing and cool, kind of warm up, but not the 111°F that we had in the past. One of the remarkable takeaways from our previous visit here was the passion. You know, it's a training school, so, I think often we think of a school, we think of a classroom, we think of instruction, we think of repetition and memorization, and certainly practical, a lab, we're gonna work and do things with our hands. But that's just not what happens here. I mean, yeah, they take people through step-by-step skills, but what they really are doing is trying to take their passion for the sport and transfer that passion to somebody else. And when they're able to do that, the faces, the look, the joy that you see in people's eyes is really quite remarkable.
I was landscaping at the time for my dad, and I decided to leave the company. And I didn't know what I was going to do, but I saw this place, it was for sale. It was an ad in the magazine, Cycle Canada. And I called Blair Sharpless up and I said I'd be interested in buying it. She just wanted to keep going. Wanted it to, stay open.
I was always a motorcycle enthusiast. So I guess I got my first bike when I was 16, 17, which is late for some people. And then I got a full-time job. And for, 40 years, I had a dirt bike sitting in my garage. And every weekend, I'd want to go riding. And then I retired from my full-time job, and I've come here to work for Trail Tours. And it's a dream job. Go for a ride, bump, 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 down to first, wing, and away I go.
I think it's anyone who's super excited to learn. I find it's really fun.
Doesn't matter age.
To teach. Yeah, it doesn't really matter age.
Yeah.
Just anyone who's there, and they even just find doing a drill is really fun, or you teach them some little thing about transferring your weight, and all of a sudden they're like, oh my god, that makes so much sense.
That makes such a huge
so
difference.
cool.
Yeah, seeing those breakthrough moments.
Yeah, I find that's really neat.
They think about what makes us happy. Research has said that it's about having positive energy, positive emotions. So thinking about joy and happiness, being positive in our mannerisms and in our life, having good, solid relationships. When we go to the blue zones around the world, we know that those folks that live to 100 have a core community that they work with. So those wonderful relationships that keep us stimulated and keep our mind active, and they have positive energy in those relationships as well, in those communities.
My father was an early motocross rider back in the early 70s here in Canada. He loved to ride. He'd been riding since he was a kid. So when I was 10 years old, he bought me a little Yamaha 100cc bike. I'd been riding for years and I didn't have any sort of training. I thought I was a pretty good rider. But when I came here and I learned a little bit of technique and I saw some of the really amazing riders, it opened up a whole new world to me. I've been here for 18 years as an instructor. Every day I come here, I practice the basics, and every day I ride here I get a little bit better. So it's not something you'll ever reach the pinnacle, but it's like any sport or like any art. The more you practice, the better you're gonna get.
Yeah, let it out all the way. Good, you got it, you got it.
So one of the other elements of happiness is related to what they call flow, which is to be lost in the moment, to be lost in time, to have your focus so intensely directed at a particular task that you lose track of time, you lose track of all of the stresses in your life. When we look at the customers at this location and we look at the employees, we see them get caught up in the energy of each other. They get caught up in the passion and the happiness and the sense of accomplishment when they achieve certain steps in their training, and the celebration that happens between other riders and the teachers when people have these moments of success. It just fuels the energy, and that is an element of flow. Those moments of flow allow us to escape the torment of stress on our body, even for moments in time, and allow us to have that relief and that happiness. But can we keep this happiness going? Can we keep in states of flow? That we have to determine.
Knee pads on first. For me, the look on someone's face when they've actually got to ride a bike, and they're just so happy that they're riding a dirt bike, they're out here in the woods. Yeah, it's a real good feeling. Especially when you get someone who's super nervous and really, really struggling, and then by the end of the day, they've got it, it's clicked, and they're riding, and they're super happy. Yeah, it's a real nice feeling. Good sense of achievement.
We started bike soccer bike. That's awesome. Right.
I'm gonna want you to be slipping the clutch and like have this pulled in, but I want you to use 2 fingers when you do this.
People really enjoy it here because you're in nature, you get to hear the birds chirping, you get to, you know, even on a rainy day or a really hot day, it's still better than being in an office, right? So they love it, that part of it. And being on 2 wheels, it's something that, I don't know what it is, but once it gets into you, it's like it's in your blood and it's part of you, and it's very, very hard to let go, and you want to be on a bike all the time. Once you're a real rider and it's in you, it's just something you just want to do constantly. So that's what a lot of the staff are like. They just love being on 2 wheels and sharing their passion with other people. So it's a very rewarding thing.
Yeah, it feels like it, right? And you're able to come to work and enjoy it. Mm-hmm. It's a magical thing because few people have that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know people like yourselves. We run into you people every once in a while, but generally most people are, are still searching for that happiness and that happy space, right? So.
Yeah.
Well, I like to see kind of people in the spot where I was at, and I think it's like, oh wow, I was there and I'm still at Trail Tours. And it's really cool to be able to share what I now call my passion, one of my passions, and to be able to share that with people day to day is really cool, and I'm very proud. I take great pride in working here. I'll be telling people like, I work at dirt bike school, I work at Trail Tours, and they're like, what's that? Because a lot of people don't know about this place, and when they do, they come out and they see how gnarly this really is to be out in the sticks and riding dirt bikes.
Make sure the key is on in the center, and press the start button.
Each one of them has a thing that drives them more, One likes working with more intermediate bike riders. One likes working with children who've never ridden before. Others can take it all. And the patience that they train with, that patience isn't programmed into them. That patience is because they went through this process at some point in their life where they were the first time getting on a bike and had to learn how to walk again, I guess it's a lot like learning to ride a bike. But in this instance, you've got to get that engine running and shift gears and do it with a helmet on with limited visibility and all these other things. So the patience that they deliver this training comes from this core human element in each of these folks. Tremendous sight, tremendous environment. And if you're gonna master a skill, this is a fun one, definitely. Fast forward 10 years.
Yeah.
You gonna be doing this shit?
I seem to be getting more and more into it as I go through the years, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere.
And what happened with your brother?
Cam, unfortunately, isn't really into the whole working on the car and doing what it takes to win kind of thing. he actually did win a championship, and once he was championship won,
He's
thanks
like,
guys.
yeah, I'm good.
I'm out.
But you felt the...
Yeah, as soon as I got behind the wheel, I had the itch, and I haven't got rid of it since, so.